Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. We are back with the TED Show. Happy Tuesday, Election Day. Tuesday, Gratitude Tuesday is what I like to call it. Super excited to have Krista Inochovsky on the show. Did I say that right?
Perfect, Ted. That was great.
All right, all right. So it must be because it's early in the day and I haven't gotten crazy. I love this topic. I love anything about masterminding, but like we talked about before we went live, a lot of people overuse it or they use it in the wrong way, or maybe they just don't know how to do it. So I'm very excited to talk about the power of it because I believe in it. And of course, anybody who dresses up like Krista does, you know you got to listen. She's got great lighting. She looks awesome. So welcome to the show. Enough about me. I'm going to be sharing the show right now while Krista tells us a little bit about her. So welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Ted. It's fun to be here. I can see your shows all the time, so it's nice to get to jump in and have this conversation with your audience. If you're talking about my backstory, I was a professional dancer for over 20 years on stages, TV, all around the world, an MC, both on camera, narrator, on stages. So my original background is in performing. And all throughout that, I had a really deep interest in personal development, personal growth, understanding who I am. That kind of fed into mindfulness and meditation and kind of that biohacking. It's like, who are you and how do you show up in the world the best? So I love being in front of people. I love getting them excited about their own life. And so this kind of career in performance evolved into helping other people perform to their best abilities. And I do that through as a certified life coach. I have a teen confidence program, and I've been doing masterminds, leading and facilitating masterminds, and even coaching people on how to incorporate them into their business and their life for about 5 years now. So that's one of my short
questions. Tons and tons of questions as I'm still trying to share the show. Dance. So what kind of dance did you do? And then what was the moment where you go, all right, this isn't going to be my full on, I'm not going to dance forever. I want to do something additional. There could have been a million things you could have chosen. Why this route?
Okay, so the first question, I studied all forms of dance with a very strong background in ballet. I was an Orlando Magic dancer all during my years at studying at University of Central Florida. I was there during the heyday.
So nice.
I was hired at 18, so what more amazing 3 years could a young lady have than the 3 years that I was at the Magic. From there, I went on to my dream job, which was an equity dancer at the Magic Kingdom, dancing on Cinderella's castle. Went to Japan. I toured with boy bands. I did Broadway-style reviews, a ton of different TV shows and TV specials and kids programs and ESPN fitness shows. So it was really, really blessed to have a long, exciting career in that. And then, of course, liking to speak. So commercials and, like I mentioned, doing MC and narration. But all along, this personal development of like, how do I show up as the best of me? What is happiness? What does it look like to keep moving forward, both in your physical health, your mental health, how you eat? And that just always drove me. And I continued to study and then just bring that and share that with people naturally.
So I love the fact that you want to give back, because I think a lot of times people think, well, performers are very self-absorbed. I actually get that question sometimes. Well, you do so much for the community, Ted. I didn't expect that. It's almost like if you're on camera, you're supposed to be shallow and have no goals outside of being on camera. But I think it's really cool that you made the transition and took all of the things that you learned being a performer and doing that, and then try to put them into something that made sense for other people so that you could educate other people. Talk about the word mastermind. Again, we talked about it before we went live. I think a lot of people overuse it. It's a big buzzword. I was telling you that people say that they're having lunch, and instead of calling it lunch, they're calling it their mastermind, which I'm not cutting down. I'm just saying, if you're having a mastermind every day, I would expect your business to be through the roof. But I think a lot of people get confused by it. It's an intimidating word that we throw around, but we don't really know what it means. So give us some ideas of when you're talking about mastermind, what are you thinking?
So the term mastermind was coined in the early 1900s by Napoleon Hill in the book Think and Grow Rich. Many people have read that, and he really dives into what a mastermind is. But if we look back through history, there are countless examples of how this format of coming together in a small group of 12, wink, wink, you want to think back to Jesus and the disciples, the Knights of the Round Table, and then of course what Napoleon Hill talked about in his book with Edison and Ford and these brilliant people that just changed the American culture and American history at the turn in that early 1920s. It's about getting a group of people together, and we're talking small. This is like 8, 10, maybe 12 people at the most. And you come together with the idea of elevating each other. And they say when two minds come together, an invisible third mind is created. It's almost like a spiritual practice. And so when you have those connections happening in that small group, it now elevates everyone within the group. It's a way to spark this genius that each person has and elevate the other people within the group. It allows us to expand our thinking and see new solutions to the problems that we understand we have. Because Ted, your experience and your life and your education is totally different than mine. So we can come together on a topic. And as I share with you like where I am and maybe where I'm stuck or where I'm headed, you're going to give me insights that I can't see myself because I'm so close to it, and vice versa.
And so I think a lot of people are like, well, are you sharing all of your secrets? Listen, I'm there to learn. And so if I can give in, I'm going to get back 100-fold. I think people get caught up in the competition part in their minds. Well, I don't want to share what's close here because, I'm going to change the world with it. Well, you could, but just like the show title says, the exponential factor of masterminding and bringing a whole bunch of people together with different perspectives and outlooks, it helps your growth and what you want to accomplish exponentially go through the roof. And I think a lot of people get caught up in it's my idea, so I don't want to share. What do you say to those people?
Well, first of all, we need to have a chat. You need to check yourself.
Yes, check yourself. That's the
check yourself. If you're thinking that this is a zero-sum game, that you having success, Ted, takes away from my success, then that's a really strong false misbelief. So if we can come to a place that know that the more success and influence I have, and you and I are friends or connected or in a mastermind group, the more that'll elevate you, the more that's going to elevate the people you reach. The more your information helps me elevate the people that I can reach. And collectively, we all can create a bigger impact and reach more people. And whatever it is our specialty is, we all get to come to the table with whatever you're about. And that's what makes it really cool.
And your resources. I want to encourage people, like, if you're willing to be open and you're really truly masterminding and kind of embracing the thought process of 2 minds are better than 1, 3 are better than 2 usually, and just taking that, the resources that Krista has are different than the resources I have. And so you begin to form these relationships and these bonds and these reciprocity between you of resources that I couldn't dream of having because I haven't lived or worked in Krista's world. So she's bringing all of that to me when we're masterminding, and I'm bringing all of my insanity to her, and together we can help each other. I think people miss out on the fact that there's this whole resource behind you. When I hire people, I'm looking for people with resources. I don't want to just know about what their basic technical talents are. I want to know what they bring to the table. I want to find out, do you know people in an industry I don't know that I'd like to tap into? Is there a group that you belong to, an organization? There's so much that Krista knows and does in her daily work and her daily life that I don't. And so when we come together, the masterminding, that's to me the secret power. You have more than just our minds, you have all of our resources behind it.
Yeah, and it really gets interesting when I pull people together for the mastermind groups that I lead, which I'll be doing, gathering a new group to start at the end of 2020, early 2021, because I think that, I'm kind of jumping ahead, but I truly think that it's going to take a different way of looking at how you do life and how you do business and how you're showing up to succeed in 2021. We've gone through an incredibly crazy and tumultuous year. And it's going to take a new way of showing up. And I think that a mastermind group, belonging to one that is going to help you, hold you accountable, help you see your blind spots, help you be creative, is really going to be the key for those people who want to succeed and show up in 2021. So
I agree.
Throwing that in a little early.
So I agree with you, and I put the link in. I put a link in there. There's an event coming up, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I do want to ask you, before we went live, people wanted to know, all right, so I'm interested, but how do I find a mastermind group that makes sense for me? Is it like dating, where you have to kind of figure out and go to a whole bunch of different people? Or what is it, like maybe some steps on how they can find the right place for them that's going to help them with their exponential growth?
Yeah, I'm really glad that you asked that question, Ted, because I find that that's the key difference. And like we mentioned before, some people will use the word mastermind, and it's just kind of a gathering. They get together, and it's not that different than happy hour or coffee or a networking group. However, the training that I have, which leads to the event that we'll talk about in a minute, I train with Jay Facette, who I believe is a top mastermind mentor in North America, if not the world. He gathers people and really gives training on how to facilitate. And it's up to the facilitator to hold court, to make it more than just people getting together and having conversations. And when the structure, the purpose, the intention, the outcome and promise is all put together with a facilitator who knows what he or she is doing, that's when magic can happen. Mastermind groups, or people can come together and call it that, and they'll just be kind of blah. And there's no real accountability. The magic's not happening. And so the short version of that is, I think it's important that you look to the person who's pulling it together, to the facilitator, at how they are doing it. And are they truly skilled and educated in how to hold court in a way that's going to give you the results that they're promising?
The facilitation is so critical. I hadn't thought of that before, because I think that's right. That's why when two people are getting together for lunch, are you having a basic lunch / happy hour / brainstorming session that you do all the time? Or are you truly masterminding? And I think it does take a level of someone to initiate that, facilitate that, because otherwise, like you said, you're just having a basic get together. It's not going to do any more than, you might have one idea that you're sparked by or something like that, but it's not the mastermind, the real power that Krista's talking about.
Yes, when I do, when I hold my mastermind sessions, especially when they're ongoing, so there's accountability that you have towards the group and to yourself, but it's timed. There are specific questions. Everyone's on game. They have to be prepared. And I even give framework on how to be a really good in the hot seat and good when you're in the position of supporting the person in the hot seat. And the more, when people are well trained and prepared for that, then the group itself can create miracles. And one idea can send your business in a whole new direction.
It's miracles, total miracles, right?
Yes.
Tell us what the hot seat looks like, because I think that people need to understand the accountability part. This is what adds that other, in my opinion, adds that additional really powerful layer. This isn't just something you show up to disheveled and you have no idea what's going on and you can wing it. I mean, I guess you could, but your counterparts that have prepared are going to call you out on it. So talk a little bit about the dynamic there.
Yeah, absolutely. So the hot seat, that's the phrase that that we use, that's when, and I'll say that you're on the hot seat to make this example easy. So when it's Ted's turn to be on the hot seat, I will have given you questions ahead of time so that you're prepared. It's looking at where you are, where you're going, and what's keeping you from getting there. Kind of the short version of it. Then when you show up to the group and you're on the hot seat, Ted, we'll give you X number of minutes where you just go. You're uninterrupted. You're going to just pour out. And here's the thing that people find. They tell me afterwards. They're like, just by clearly articulating what my business is, where it's going, and what my problem is, it creates so much internal clarity by them having to express it outwardly. And if you don't have it all together, the people will say, sorry, Ted, I'm not really following you. Like, what does this mean? And what does that mean? And then you're going, oh my gosh, I'm not even clear on my message, or I'm not clear on my direction. So there's so much self-awakening that happens in this process. And that's, I think, where the magic happens.
I think I think people don't practice, or most people don't know how to articulate what their message is, what their goals are, what they're trying to do. They have it all up here, but that doesn't always translate to success in business, relationships, whatever you're trying to mastermind on. And I think it's so critical, that part is that you have to have an idea, and masterminding kind of makes you, I hate to use the word forces you, but there's that accountability part that forces you to take it seriously and really try to hone and fine tune what your message is, which is to me such a giant leap from where most people are. Listen, your message is not your elevator speech. I just want to let you know there are groups for that. Mm-hmm. And that is a great place if that's how you do stuff. But if you are truly masterminding, you need to have a really clear idea. And the group, if you don't, are certainly going to help you figure out you don't, and then give you some clues on how to get there.
Yeah, that's so true. It's eye-opening when somebody gets up and they're expressing, and then the feedback from the group is confusion, or they're getting mixed messages. They can see where there's a misalignment, that in our own minds, because it's our own business, it's all making sense. And so those sort of reflections are invaluable.
Yes. All right, so talk about the event.
Yes. So coming up, we have Mastermind to Millions Live, which is led by Jay Facette, whom I did all of my mastermind training through. And I'm a coach. I work with Mastermind to Millions and their joint venture brand all the time. Absolutely adore it. We have a global reach. This mastermind event is for speakers, authors, leaders, thought leaders, consultants who are interested in learning how to become a mastermind facilitator, how to add this to your business plan, how to add this into the ways that you are contributing. So if you feel like you're a leader in some way, perhaps you have a book or something that's coming out in 2020, there's a lot of different ways that you can pair adding being the mastermind facilitator into your business that will really elevate your position and your authority, and then in the process, bringing in and helping so many other people. So this event teaches you all that you need to do from the beginning to positioning your mastermind all the way through facilitating it well and keeping the momentum going. And essentially this could add, it depends on your level of authority, but it could add a zero to the end of your income. It has the potential of being that powerful. So this 3-day event, which is live online for the first time, is going to offer that. So if you're curious about Mastermind, but you're like, wow, I wonder if I could do this. Like, or that sounds like, I'm already a consultant. I'm already out there coaching people. I already have a book coming out. People look to me as a leader, or I have influence over a certain niche. Then this would be the event that you should attend to see what it would look like for you to add this into your life.
And that's the link. So the link's in the comments, but when we share the show, we'll put the link again. So it's November 18th through the 20th. It's online, so we're all compliant. And like Krista said, if this is a great event for you to explore. Most people I know would like to do more masterminding, and they just don't know how. They don't know who to reach out to. But if you can include that in and build that into your business plan, I personally know it's an amazing thing. You just have to get with the one that makes sense to you.
Right.
And you have to learn sort of what to look for. All right. So what's the best way for them to reach out to you, Krista? The best way for them to learn more, other than the link for November 18th to 20th?
Right. So that's an event if you're looking to learn how to facilitate one on your own. As I mentioned, I'm going to be leading Mastermind. I was doing this in conjunction with Orlando Entrepreneurs a few years back. So I'm really excited to be bringing up another one. And like I've said, this 2021, like this is going to be a critical time. And we need to step in with full power. We need to let the confusion of 2020 die.
Yes.
Just let it go. But we can't go back to doing things the way they were, and we can't just coast forward. It's going to take a true intention to succeed in this new year. And so, a mastermind group is the way to go. So if you're curious or interested in joining my group, I would love to hear from you. I'm on LinkedIn. With a name like Krista Inochovsky, I'm the only one. So you can make sure that you're getting me and not somebody else. I'm also very present on Facebook and then KristaInochovsky.com/mastermind. I've got even some behind the scenes videos of what masterminds look like, what some of my past clients have said along the way. So that's a great place to explore some resources there.
Fantastic. All right, Krista, that's amazing. KristaInochovsky.com/mastermind. You guys reach out to her. 2020 has been crazy. You want to up your game and figure out how to maneuver through in a new way. So masterminding would be a great way to accomplish that, because she's right. 2021, people are feeling good about 2021. So let's move this forward, get out of 2020 and figure out some new ways for you to grow, especially that growth you guys I know are always looking for. Krista, you're a joy. That was awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show. Reach out to her, register for the event. If you have questions, you can reach out to her. She's just as amazing here as she is in person, and she will help you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, the world needs you. There's a lot of people out there, and they need the leaders, and they need us to be strong. They need us to be creative, and they need us to be reaching out with open hands. And that's what we can do collectively. When we are in our own best power, we can help the people that are really going to need us next year. So let's do it.
I like that. Our own best power. Krista Inochovsky. We'll see you soon. You guys reach out to her. You will not regret it. Thank you for being on the show, Krista. You're awesome.
Thanks, Ted.